And we're live. Hello and welcome to the webinar. I'm your moderator, your pumped up moderator, George Zarepsky, and I've got Candace and Mark Freya here with me today. Hello, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, George. Good morning.
All right, so I am really pumped up, and this is why. I just got through watching our Kickstarter video that we're going to be putting up with our campaign, and that thing gave me butterflies and chills. And the speaker is just, the voice is uber cool. It was really awesome. So that's got me all geeked up. So I'm a little bit on edge here as we step into this webinar. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to give an overview of Aerēz. We're going to show you all of the ins and outs. There's been some significant advances since we first did one of these videos. So we're going to do that first. And if time allows, we'll go into some Q&A. And we'll let Mark and Candace also speak to anything else they want about what's coming forward. So I am going to jump right in here, switch this screen over to the app. And you know what? Let me log out of here so we can give everybody the full overview. So after you get your router and you log in either through the QR code, excuse me, or you can log in by typing beta.aerēz.net. You can see I've already had that in there. And then we're going to go username and password. I'm going to go with the stored one. All right, so right off the bat, here's the home screen. We're going to have the image that you will upload. We'll show you how to do that in just a few seconds. And then we're going to have the name. And then you have your account settings, notifications. Each one of those will take you to another screen to have more information there or update your account settings. And we have the users, devices, and pause internet up front, right in your face. So again, we want the things that you would use right away to be up front, easily accessible. Also, you can go down to the user section down here. See if I can get a focus. There we go. Users and devices and settings. So here's your menu and home over here on the far left. But on the home screen, we also have users and devices here. And then we have our activity section, which is going to show notifications of things that we think are important that you should know about, and then you can dismiss them right from here. So that's down and dirty, quick overview of the home screen. We're going to go into the user screen now and let Candace tell us about that one.
Hi, so if you're new to Aerēz and just got logged in, you should see a couple of default users that we created for you. We usually do media and guest. So first steps, go in, create a user. So you can do that by simply hitting the plus in the right-hand corner and right there. And then we're in the add user screen and hey, you're getting a message.
Yeah, I had a little notification there. All right.
Hello,
awesome.
Hello notification. So I'll let George talk a little bit more about how we use our support chat in our app to help you out if you have any questions. But for right now, we're just going to jump in. Let's just add a test user. So if you just want to throw test in there. Quick couple of options to look through. The child-friendly filter, if you turn that on, basically any devices that are assigned to this user will be child filtered. So hopefully you're not getting to any violent websites, pornography websites, and it should even protect you from some of the known sites that have viruses or spyware. And then our user type. So default is guest. And so in order to get better optimization on your network, you're going to want to change the user type to either adult or media or child. And that helps under the hood when we tune the network. You can go ahead and add your users. And then once we've got the user created, it's pretty simple that we're going to assign some devices to it. So, well, before we assign devices, let's actually jump back into our test user. So now you see that you can immediately pause this user's internet. So any devices that are assigned to it will be temporarily blocked from the internet access. You've got your child-friendly filter on and you've got your user type, but an additional feature comes in the edit screen, and that is the bedtime blocker. And we have two options for bedtime blocker, weekdays and weekends. So you simply turn it on with clicking the check mark and then use the drop downs to set the time that you want it to start in the evening and the time you want it to end. I know for us it makes a big difference because when we had the bedtime blocker ending at 7 a.m., our 9-year-old was getting up in the morning and jumping on his phone right away. So I had to go ahead and change the bedtime blocker to be 8 a.m. so that he was already on his way to school before he could jump back on his phone. So I think that's all the different options that we've got in here. So we can save that. And then we're going to jump into devices. So no devices for this user. So let's go in and find a device that we can assign. George has only got 23 devices listed.
Active devices.
Active devices. So, okay, so here we're going to go in here. As he's showing you here, if it doesn't have a known name, we show you the IP address. So sometimes this helps you figure out which device, if you're like George and you have almost 30 devices. So give it a name that you'll recognize. And then in this option as well, a master device is something that you don't ever want paused. Because obviously if we pause all of your devices, you're going to have a tough time unpausing. So in order to actually pause everybody's devices, you're going to have to set a couple master devices. So drop down there to assign the user. We're going to throw our tester, and then we'll save. So in addition, we have some other details underneath the update button, such as the device name, the device IP address, the MAC address, just little helpers so that you know what devices are connected and how you can figure out which device goes to which user. And then we have the last seen, which means that's the last time it was active with the hardware. So I can't think of anything else there that we want to cover other than I can say that you have multiple ways to pause the internet. You can pause everybody, you can pause just a user, or you can pause by device. We've made it, try to make it super easy to just get in there and control your kids and control your devices. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else there to cover.
So I know that television is one that my wife is using right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause that. If you guys hear anything in the background, don't worry, everything will be okay. So yeah, it's just that easy. That's pausing a user and any devices they have. Awesome. So let's take a step into the devices tab itself and get an overview there. If you wouldn't mind, Mark, giving us a little walkthrough of this tab.
Sure thing. Before I jump in, I think we glossed over the user image. So just in the same way that you can set an image for your whole account, you can also set an image for the users. And that's maybe not super important, but it does make it a lot easier on the device screen to see which stuff is assigned to users and which stuff isn't. So you'll see here, you can pick an image for your users right here. And we don't have notifications completed yet, but over time we'll be adding the ability to notify your family members of important events in addition to the account holder. So that's why email and mobile exist there.
All right.
So if we go over to devices, the reason, like I say, putting that image in there is that you'll see here, there's different mini icons there for which user owns each device. And you can change that in the device settings, but here at a glance, you can see whether the child filter is on, how recent it's been talking on the network, what user is assigned to it, and whether that device is paused or not. And this is where we intend to show, little quick details of, how that device is working at the moment. So let's go ahead and pick any device there and jump inside to see what other details we can get. So you can see here, right off the bat again, pause the internet is readily available right at the top. So pausing the internet for the entire home, for an entire user, or for a single device, we wanted to make it as readily accessible as possible. So that's where you see it right there. Some devices, especially stuff that's Android operating system, comes in and it's got really poor nickname. So here we allow you to change that nickname, and that nickname will be ever present throughout the rest of the app. And if you call in or chat in for support, you can tell us what the nickname is and we'll know what you're talking about, instead of talking about a bunch of random numbers and letters. We already talked about master device. Again, that's a device that'll never be paused, even when you set pause on. And then the user, again, can be assigned right here. So once you add users, they'll automatically populate this list and you can pick from them. Finally, you've got remove device and save. So if you've made changes, you want to hit save. If you click remove device, that means maybe you've got something that came on your network one time, and either you want to see if it comes back again, or you just want it to be gone from your network forever because that person or that device is never going to be on your network again. You can click remove there and it cleans it up. So I think that covers everything there. Again, the additional details that show up below.
Okay.
So I guess we can move over to settings next. And we can start with network management. So network management here is where you're going to set just a couple things. Most importantly, this is where your Wi-Fi SSID and password is. And the SSID is your network name. So this is what you're going to see on your list of Wi-Fi availability networks to join from your devices. And then we allow you to turn password protection on and off. The password field is listed there. And then we've got what we call guest Wi-Fi. So let's say you're having a party and you want to turn on some Wi-Fi for everybody that's coming, but you don't want to hand out your password for your main network because you don't want them on your actual network and messing with your stuff. You can turn on a guest Wi-Fi, and you can either put a temporary password on there, or you can leave it unpassword protected and say, hey, this thing's just going to be on for a day, and I'm going to turn it off tomorrow. And then you can open it up, and people can just come on, get on the Wi-Fi, and they have access, but it's security protected from your normal Wi-Fi, the network name of your primary SSID at the top. So again, you can scroll down there and update settings. That'll, if you do that, that's going to apply your changes. So you should be aware that you'll drop your network connection for a couple seconds if you're on the Wi-Fi instead of being hardwired. But it'll come right back, a couple seconds, and then all your changes will be applied. Lastly, the optimize network button. That's what our patent pending technology exists. And when you click that button, it's going to run a speed test. It takes about 30 seconds, so we're not going to run it right now. It's kind of boring to watch progress bar. But it'll run a speed test in the background. It'll determine what bandwidth is available on your circuit. It'll measure the devices that exist on your network, the number of users, and we run our smart math to figure out what's the best settings for your network so that every device can have the bandwidth that it needs, regardless of whether there's one device active right now and it can consume everything on the network, or whether there's 10 devices active right now and they need to play nicely together. So finally, we got port forwarding there. That button is not active. We're still working on that user interface.
Awesome. All right. Let's go back to the settings tab. All right, so going down the line here, we have the account tab next. Do you want to tackle that one, Candace?
Sure. So the profile image is probably the first spot you're going to want to come into the account settings page. And this is the primary image that you see when you log in. So basically, it's just a little pop-up window to choose your file, save your image, change your image. And then in here, you can get right to the listing of your master devices. So if at any time you want to see, okay, which devices, which laptops are on the master device list. And again, in order to pause the entire network, you have to have at least one device on there. So let's jump back over into the account tab. And right now you will see the account email. So that is the email that we've tied to this account. And so if you get notifications from us, that is the email that you're going to get notifications to. And then you can play around with adding, first name, last name, a nickname. We also do have a spot for an alternate email, and we're not currently using that, but in the future we'll have a setting so that you can turn on notifications to that as well. When you first come in to the account settings, we probably don't have your mobile number, but if you supply that and then go into the notifications and turn that on, you'll actually get text messages from us when the internet goes down. We're working on when a new device comes online. And then, most importantly, when you get in here, please change your password. That's probably the first thing you're going to want to do. So we do have some pretty tough requirements here. It does have to be at least 9 characters in length. It does have to have at least 1 number and at least 1 special character. But we feel this app is running your entire home network, and it's pretty important that we make it protected. So that's what we have at the account settings for now.
All right. So let's see what we have next here. Notifications. I'll go ahead and tackle that one. I like notifications. So this is the area where you will come in to kind of opt in or out of notifications. So let's say your internet goes down. Do you want to be notified? Well, if so, do you want to be notified via text or email? If you only want text, then you untick the email and so on. And then there's going to be additional notifications that we'll be adding to this portion. Device bandwidth spikes, I believe, is still in development. Is that correct, Mark?
Sorry, you caught me while I was muted. Yes, we're close to having that one, but that's not in production today.
All right. Yep. No worries. And then new device on the network. Obviously, that's going to be a big one, as per one of our user testimonials there. So after you've made your selection of whether or not you want notifications on in general, and then which ones you want, you can click Save here. And as Candace said a few moments ago, if you don't have a phone number listed, you can go use the shortcut right here to get to that account settings page and then add your phone number and email. Make sure your email is accurate so that we can get that information to you. And the activity log is basically going to give you the full history of that notification area that was on your home screen. So if we look here, the last couple notifications, actually these are in chronological order, so you'd have your latest at the bottom. And this again is the information that you get from this home screen. Whenever you dismiss an item, if you want to dismiss that item, it's still going to be available in your settings notifications area. I'm sorry, activity log, so that you can go back and see what that was later if you wanted to do that. And then last but not least, our support tab. This is my favorite. And this is how you get in touch with us. Do you want to send an email? Click on the email icon. If you want to call us, we do have a toll-free number that is not always manned, so that'll be a sparingly worst case scenario use only. And then we have our chat, which is our preferred method, and it's really convenient. Just click it. If you have a conversation that was already in progress, you can go to that conversation and continue it, or you can start a new conversation by clicking new conversation. And then one of us or one of our support technicians will get that message and we will reply as soon as possible. Also, you're going to receive messages like we saw earlier that are from Aerēz or the team itself. Notifications like, hey, there's a webinar coming up today, or hey, we noticed that you added 3 new users. We'd like to get some feedback on that. So we'll have those notifications in here as well. And then some helpful guidance notifications as well. Let's say it's your first time going to the user tab. We have a notification that pops up to kind of show you how to go through it, like we just discussed here. If you want to go back and find that, you can then go to that notification here and see the history of that conversation. So the support area, we're pretty proud of this chat area, and we definitely have used it a lot already. And thank you all so much for those of you that have been engaged with that. And for everyone else, please know that it's there and it's at your disposal and ready to be used. All right, I think I beat that horse a little bit dead. Is there anything glaring that we left out there, guys?
I can't think of anything.
No, I think we covered everything that's there today.
All right, awesome. Well, I'm looking over to see if we have any questions in our Q&A section, and we do not as of yet. So let's take it to Candace here. Do you have anything that you'd like to add for what's coming up, or anything we should keep on the radar?
Couple of user requests coming in. The Wi-Fi password right now is password printed, so you don't actually get to see it. So we're working on a button that basically just lets you display the password, which is going to be convenient if you've got people coming in and you want them on your network. You can simply text them or show them the password. Makes it super easy. And then we're adding the reboot router button, which basically, hopefully you never have to, but if you do, you can do it from your phone and not have to go down into the utility closet and pull the cord. So those are some of the things coming up.
All right. Yeah, I think people are just so used to that. I know I am, especially, you know, I'll be honest and put it out here. I used to buy those really cheap routers, just the cheapest thing I could get my hands on. And those are the ones that are always breaking, you know, and so they either get overwhelmed or overloaded, or, you know, I'm just doing too much stuff on my network and I wasn't even aware of it, and they can't take it. So I just always pulling the power cord and plugging it back in. I have not had to do that though yet with my 41 odd devices and my Aerēz router. I have not had to do that once since I've owned it. So just putting that out there. Obviously I've got a little bit of investment in the product, but I got to tell you that it's been a workhorse for me. So definitely not your off the shelf, you know, all cheapo hardware that we're shipping this stuff with.
Good testimonial.
I ought to do one under a pseudonym maybe. So Mark, you got anything to add for us?
Yeah, along those same lines, you know, we don't intend for people to use that button very often, and we'll probably you know, hit you up if we find out that button's being used and find out why, because it shouldn't need to be used. Like Candace said, we exposed it to you because we think it, you know, there's an expectation that it needs to be there. But so far, in all of our trials in beta, we have not needed to use any reboot routers. We are performing firmware updates for you automatically, and when we fix a bug, you know, we'll put new code on, and then a reboot is required when you put new code on. We do that in the middle of the night, so it's taken care of for you, and so that nobody has needed to do any reboots that we're aware of, and we're aware of the stuff that happens, so nobody's been doing it. I guess beyond that, next Wednesday, October 19th, I'll be in Bismarck, so if you live in or near Bismarck, North Dakota, I'll be presenting at 1 Million Cups on stage again. So stop by if you're nearby.
Super sweet. Yeah, so I know some of you have seen the little mysterious images going out saying save the date, and it's talking about the 19th. So for our followers that have been with us and sticking through all this thick and thin with us, here's a little secret. Don't tell anybody, but we've got our Kickstarter coming up, which that's why this green screen is back here. But there's going to be some cool, awesome sci-fi things going on. We'll wait. I don't want to give any spoilers on that, but we've got Mark going to be out there at the 1 Million Cups, and he's going to have an announcement out there as well. It's a lot coming on. We've been super busy, plus taking care of all the feedback and inputs we've been getting from our beta testers, which again, we really appreciate. So a lot of stuff going on. I don't have anything else. What do you have?
We're still part of the 1 in a Million contest, so expect to see our video come out for that next week after George been doing some serious work on that.
Yeah, that's a lot of the reason for the screen here. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on. It's kind of hard to keep track of right at the moment, but we're getting there, and our focus is making sure you guys have a avenue to communicate with us. That's priority, is handling all of your support requests and ensuring that our product is as smooth and reliable as it can be. And of course, still trying to, you know, balance the business side of it on the other end. But we are making some awesome, definitive progress. So really exciting times. Really looking forward to the next couple weeks. A lot of stuff coming on, and we're going to need your guys' support spreading the word as well. So with that, I think that is all we have for today. That's quite a bit, quite a lot.
A lot.
All right, so we can look forward to a new newsletter, I think, next week, Monday, going out for everyone. We had a kind of an abridged one just for the beta users this week. And we'll be sending out information on how you guys can help out with the 1 in a Million Cups, 1 in a Million competition, and what to look forward to. All right, so that's all I have. Any last words? Everybody's good?
Good. Have a great day.
All right,
Great
guys.
week.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, George. Bye.